Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 411. I am one of your hosts, Chris. Also, my co-host here, Mike. Mike, what's popping?
We got the 411 on comics. Yes. I can make that joke now.
Dude, in 9 weeks, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what's already happened. Wait, is it actually fall on a Sunday? Oh, yes, it does.
Will we be recording?
Yeah, we'll be recording on 420 this year, everybody. Just a heads up. So if you're like, why the hell can't Mike speak? It's gonna be like, it's just gonna be how the weather is that day or something. So we do have a special guest on the show today. Dave Swartz is back. He's gonna talk about quite a few projects he's got going on, but we're gonna focus on Confederate Monster, his Frankenstein Civil War book, which is really cool. Really great guy. Glad he's on the show.
Yeah, it's a really dope book. I want to check it out.
Yeah. I did some cool stuff this weekend. I think I told you about it, that I bought tickets almost a year ago for a live Lord of the Rings movie.
Yes, yeah.
So we drove into the city yesterday to see Return of the King with a live orchestra, and it was in Radio City Music Hall. It was epic. The music is so good in Lord of the Rings, but also like they had the live, so they had a whole choir. They had like 30 people singing. They had like this young, like I don't know, like high school, college girl doing like the really high pitched like elven parts, and then they had like a professionally trained opera singer doing like the chanting elvish singing parts. It was insane. It was an amazing experience. The best part for me, well, so like I know you're not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan, but I know you're starting to get into it more, but there's the part where the Riders of Rohan speech where he screams death, and they go death, so the whole theater was going death. It was awesome. They were chanting, and there's a lot of like people. It is amazing to me that the movies over like the last 20 years have evolved, because like there's scenes where like there's clearly like bromance between Frodo and Sam, and people are like laughing in the theater, where it's like, I remember seeing these movies in the theater at the time, and it was like when they came out, and like everything is so serious and like emotional, you know what I mean? But now it's like people have been rewatching these movies for 20 years, and it's like these are the things that are memes, like,
that's the issue watching those movies now, is I just look at it and go, that's a meme.
That's a meme.
That's a meme.
One does not simply walk into Mordor. Yeah. Everything's a meme. Yeah.
I was going through, this is like a month ago or so now, but I was going through Max, and they have the extended cuts on Max.
Oh yeah, we watch them all the time. Yeah.
And I was telling my lady, Sam, about this, and I was like, yeah, I noticed they had the extended cuts on Max, and I was like, that's going to be a problem. And she goes, why? I said, because I know you're going to make me watch them at some point. And she goes, I don't see what the problem is here.
Yeah, that's not a problem for anybody.
Remember that when we do a marathon of Star Wars movies. Remember that
statement. Yeah. I will say, because we only watch the extended versions. I mean, we have them like, if we're winding down for the night, Katie's going to fall asleep on the couch, we'll put extended edition on. Well, that's just what we have in the background.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fast the movies, because this wasn't the extended edition that we saw, so it's only like 3 hours. It wasn't the extended.
Trust me, I was there.
But dude, it like moves along so quick to where I'm like, damn, like I'm missing a lot of these scenes that were in the extended edition, So it was epic. I highly recommend it. I mean, I've done it for Harry Potter, but like the Lord of the Rings, just the battle music, because you got like the guys like banging on the drums, all this crazy shit. And then for a lot of the Hobbit scenes, the like fluty stuff, they literally had one of the orchestra players had a wooden pan flute, like those like flutes that like it was, and they were just like going back and forth, like fucking shredding on it. And I was like, this is awesome. It was a good time. I was having a blast. But yeah. Oh, and just a heads up, did you go see War for Rohirrim yet?
Yeah, we saw it in theaters.
Oh yeah, that's right. You saw it in theaters. Yeah, because I was gonna say it's on HBO now, and I think we rewatched it already. So, and for anybody who's interested in watching War for Rohirrim, it is on HBO Max. So,
I recommend it. It's even if you don't like Lord of the Rings, it's a solid.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I mean, it's a fantasy movie, yes, but it doesn't really have a lot of the fantasy tropes that you think of. It's more like a medieval war movie than anything else. Yeah.
Then the scene of the dude like defending the gates in the winter, like with his fist, was fucking metal.
So when you did sit down to watch it on HBO Max, did you bust out the Hammer popcorn bucket?
No, I don't. It was our friends bought it. I don't own one. I wish I did.
Oh, that wasn't you that you sent me the picture?
It was. Oh, we took a picture with our friends. I wish I bought one now though, because I was like, I would literally put it up on the wall, like next to my desk. I probably could buy one off eBay, but they're probably really expensive.
Dude, I remember when the D&D D21 came out.
Oh, dude,
and those were like going for $250 online.
I wish I got one of those.
I wanted one so bad.
Yeah, I feel like D&D and Lord of the Rings stuff sells so quickly, like memorabilia stuff that goes on sale. So
yeah.
All right, let's talk about Invincible season 3, episode 7. Aaron Paul, surprise, surprise, coming in as the main character this episode.
Star of the hit movie Need for Speed.
Star of the hit movie, nothing else. No. And he's got a tequila, I think, with that one dude who played a meth cooker.
The guy who was in Seinfeld, who was the dentist.
The dad from Malcolm in the Middle. The Breaking Bad guys. But anyways, so to me, Chris, if you remember what they were trying to do with Man of Steel into Batman v Superman, I couldn't help but draw the correlation between the Superman-esque character Invincible laying waste to a city, getting the shit beat out of him by a villain where he had really no choice. And then you flip the story to create your villain that like wants to destroy the world and like hold this superhero accountable. Way better than Batman vs Superman.
It's almost like they watched that movie and said, watch me do it right.
We can do it right and better within 1 hour time. We don't need this director's extended 3.5 hour bullshit. Dude, at first I was like, this seems like a filler episode. By the end of it, I was like, this is a really good episode.
It's a really good filler episode.
Yeah, really good filler episode.
Yeah, yes. Like you're right, it is a filler episode, but it's really fucking good.
Aaron Paul is a voice actor. Like, at first I was like, man, he's doing some really like intense, like, there was a lot of Dragon Ball Z screaming in this episode of like charging up and like punching people and like, repelling blasts and stuff. He was nailing it. He was doing a great job.
Which, when it was announced that he was coming, like, Aaron Paul isn't a great actor.
No, he's not.
Sorry to break it to everybody. No, he has like one thing he can do, and it's what he did at Breaking Bad, which is be angry and yell a lot. But that's what this character needed.
Yeah.
And also to his credit, that final scene where he's locked up and he's hanging there.
Yeah.
And he just tells Invincible, like, I will break out and I will come for you.
It was so intense. Yeah.
Yeah, like he pulled that off so well. So
it was really good.
I give him a lot of credit. Like there's moments in here where I'm like, yeah, this is an Aaron Paul role 100%. And then there was that moment at the end where I was like, holy shit, like he had a moment of range.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think it was awesome. I thought the character was really cool, like trying to get back at Invincible for like destroying his family. Then he kills the rest of his family. That's Invincible, right? It's so dark. And then, when they're like, okay, the filler episode's done, here's Angstrom Levy and all the court of Invincible villains. I'm like, oh my god, please let me see more of that.
Yeah, I mean,
the multiverse of Invincibles.
I love Angstrom Levy is like this ongoing character.
Dude in the background, yeah. Just gonna mess everything up. But I'm hoping we get Conquest at the end of the season. I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like that's how the season's gonna end.
Yeah, like he shows
with
up.
him showing up and like the Viltrumites, and then season 4 will be the Viltrumite War.
It's funny because I have some friends that are watching it, and his wife's watching it with him, and has never read Invincible before.
Mm-hmm.
And she said something like, "Oh, everything's going really well right now. I bet something bad's going to happen." And he's kind of just sitting there, like keeping his mouth. Like, no comment.
So quick funny anecdote story. We're at the comic shop, and we're getting ready for D&D, and the owner's sitting there watching this movie Hotel Artemis. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
So Sterling K. Brown, who plays Angstrom Levy, is in it, and then Charlie Day's also in it.
Oh, love that. Cool.
And so I see Sterling K. Brown, and I couldn't remember his name because I can't remember anyone's name ever. But I looked at him, I was like, oh, I know him. And of course, the owner has to like give me shit, and he's like, "Oh, you do?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, what's he from? And I'm trying to remember, and the first thing that pops in my head is the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine he's in.
Oh yes.
So I was like, "He's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine," and I immediately just get shit from everybody in the room for me, like, "Oh, so they all look alike, Rose?" You know, like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, no, he was. And then they started thinking I was talking about Terry Crews.
Oh,
I'm like, no, hell? Those two look nothing alike.
Yeah, they look nothing alike. Yeah. No, he actually was in the episode. Yeah.
And I was trying to look him up. And of course, in his IMDb, it didn't show that he was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But I'm looking at his face. I'm like, no, guys, he was in the. Like,
that's so funny.
But he was also like in Marvelous Miss Maisel and a few other things.
Yeah.
And then we found out that he was in a movie called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I love the rabbit holes you go down when you're in the comic shop when people are like, no, and then you start like Googling shit and you're like, oh, now I gotta watch all these movies.
Yeah, and then when I was watching this episode, I was like, because we went D&D Friday night and Saturday night I watched the episode, and I'm watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, he's him too. He's Angstrom Levy too.
Like, yeah, because we definitely
that's half the reason I love Angstrom Levy is because his voice is so good.
It is really good, and I remember when we first talked about it, you're like, it's the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I was like, what? Yeah. Which the one episode? Yeah,
because I remember him from that very specifically. But then like you look at his other roles, and he's in stuff that it's just not what I'm gonna watch.
Right.
And the only other thing he's been in that I would watch is Black Panther, and like. To say like the black actor was in Black Panther,
yeah, right. And he wasn't I don't even remember who he was in Black Panther.
I don't know, but he is a recurring character because I think he's going to be in that World of Wakanda.
Oh, really? Maybe he's one of the head of the like other tribes or something.
He's oh god, I hope I don't butcher this. Njobu.
Oh yeah, okay. No, that's a pretty big character in the.
Yeah, but to say the black actors in Black Panther is like saying the Asian actor was in Crazy Rich Asians, like.
That's like.
So that's why my mind goes to Brooklyn Nine-Nine because that episode's also really great. Like he plays a really great character in that episode. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
But yeah, great episode of Invincible. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for more Invincible every week.
And I really hope they come back to this character like a couple seasons from now.
Yeah, for sure.
And do another like episode with them.
That's what I hope too.
Yeah.
Whenever Aaron Paul's free from Need for Speed. We got
Mike's
some
gaming corner next.
Gaming corner. We got some announcements. IGN and their fucking horrific website trying to navigate that, but I just took the screenshot from there. So we got the first reveal of Spider-Man cards coming out in September for Magic the Gathering. And they do these things called it's a scene. It's like a scene box that they did these for Lord of the Rings where they do 6 cards in sequence that when you put them together it makes like an image from like Lord of the Rings or something. So this will be released in September 26th, but so we got the reveal for like Doc Ock, Sensational Spider-Man, Green Goblin, and Venom. And then we got like the pumpkin bombs and the tentacles from Doc Ock. So I do think it's pretty cool. I mean the art, I think the art isn't, I mean to me it doesn't really look like Magic the Gathering, but it's more comic booky, which is what you want to see. And I'm trying to
figure out because it's Dan Dos Santos.
Yeah, Dan Dos Santos does the art, and I'm sure they're gonna have a ton of different artists on this stuff, but I mean, you can't do a Spider-Man set without the villains, right? So having Venom, Green Goblin, and Doc Ock makes sense. I do like the fact, like, you probably know more about this than I do, but like Doc Ock's suit, that's like the classic original suit, like the green and yellow, right?
Oh yeah, all the designs are very classic.
Yeah, which I love. I think that was a really good idea on their part.
See, and maybe we'll see more, and this will be a thing, but I had kind of hoped that with this collaboration, they would give some comic book artists like a shot.
They have to, yeah.
And I was just looking out Daniel Dos Santos, and he's known for book covers.
Oh, interesting.
And he's done stuff for Tor, Bantam, and Pyre, which are all like genre book, mostly sci-fi and fantasy book publishers.
Well, if you think of it this way, each card is pretty much a comic book cover, and there's hundreds of them, so I hope we have some opportunities. I mean, they've done like Secret Layers with like Peach Momoko and Saga artists.
Let's say Fiona Staples has done a ton of Magic stuff over the years.
They've had the guy who's done some stuff on Adventure Time. They recently, their alternate art, they've been doing a lot of alternate art cards. The last one had the artist from like Bob's Burgers working on it, which is really cool. So they do a lot of cool stuff. So I'm sure there's going to be some comic book stuff intertwined here.
Yeah, it's like call up give JRJR the check.
I'm sure there's got to be some JRJR. There has to
just call these guys up. Especially if you do a Spider-Man Magic the Gathering set, because I've already seen where video game people are going nuts for the Final Fantasy sets.
Oh yeah.
And that's part of the problem you Magic people are going to have is now video game people are buying that set.
Yeah, it's crazy. The pre-orders are insane right now.
Yeah. If you do a whatever Chase Super Rare, whatever their version of it is, John Romita Jr. Spider-Man card.
Oh yeah, make it a Chase. I'm sure they'll do a Chase card that's serialized because they know they'll get the comic book people. So they've been doing these serialized cards now, folks, that are like 1 out of 500 or something that get numbered.
Yeah,
and they usually have a specific art. Yeah, I'm sure something like that's like a Todd McFarlane or something for sure.
If you could get Todd, I don't think you could get Todd, but
I don't know, probably not.
I mean, there's a lot of recent artists, guys that are still around doing work that you could call and give them
Ryan
a check.
Otley, get Spider-Man.
Oh, dude, that'd be sweet. But you got people on Marvel's, right? They're working for Marvel right now. Yeah, give them the work. Come on.
Yeah. Frank Miller, give him a card. No, don't give Frank Miller.
And I will throw in there when I was looking through Daniel Dos Santos stuff. It said he did some comic covers over the years, but he's known for his book publishing stuff. Nothing against him. It's just, but it's cool that these are all connecting. The cards all connect into one big image.
That's what they do with these. I don't know how many more of these they'll have. These are like the these scene boxes that they do. They did a few of them. They did 4 of them for Lord of the Rings, which had one had Gandalf fighting some stuff. One had Aragorn. So it's cool that they do this. I think it looks really cool. I'm excited. I just want to see more cards. I mean, we haven't. It's funny because they haven't even released the set that's coming out in April. Any of the cards, they're just focusing on Final Fantasy and Marvel right now because they know that's going to sell the most.
Oh yeah, because that's got more commercial appeal.
Oh, hell
the sets in between that have appeal to you.
Yeah, right.
Where these, all of a sudden people like me are like, huh?
Yeah,
I'm missing fucking Magic cards.
Yeah, Chris is going out in the wild looking for Magic. So they're definitely gonna keep doing this stuff. I think the art looks great. I think they did a great job so far. So I'm excited to see more of these.
Yeah, and that's my rant aside is not to say that the art looks bad.
No,
it looks good. I just would have liked to see some comic people get work.
Yep. All right, let's jump to the movie news now. Recently, someone leaked concept art for Avengers Doomsday. While Marvel had the original post scrubbed from the internet, as they do, we all know that nothing stays dead online. Many people have already screenshots of the art and shared them, so potential spoilers as we talk about these images, which I cannot wait to talk about. We don't get to do this much on the show because a lot of this stuff, you're not really... we don't really speculate, but okay, so we got some of the images. This first one you have Doom sitting on a throne, right?
Yeah, you got Doom sitting on a throne with a bunch of people around him.
I'm trying to
can't really tell who those people are.
Yeah,
they're probably just randos. But first, I want to say Doom has the white cloak, which is what he wore for the most recent Secret Wars crossover.
Oh, okay, cool.
And also, if you really pay attention to it, it's it has a very Iron Man inspired feel to it, and if I remember, Robert Downey Jr. is playing the character.
Oh shit, yeah, it does.
So it definitely feels like this is a version of Doom that may have once been Iron Man, or maybe is the infamous Iron Man, or something like that.
Or like, yeah, because it has like the 2 spots for his chest piece.
Yeah, and if you just look at the legs and just how it's designed, it looks almost like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Even the face almost looks like an Iron Man suit, like the original Iron Man.
Yeah, so it's definitely a variant. It's not going to be our Doom.
Next one is...
Next one's just Vision and Star-Lord sitting around.
Hanging out, eating pizza and getting drunk on a couch. So tons of spoilers there, everybody. The next one is the Hulks on Hulk World, I guess.
Yeah, so there's been a bunch of talk of like the old Hulks coming back for this. Eric Bana and who's the guy in Incredible Hulk?
Adrian Brody.
No, from Incredible Hulk.
Edward Norton.
Yeah,
I get them mixed up.
And Lou Ferrigno.
Oh my god.
So there's some Hulk World going on because this is obviously our Hulk and She-Hulk, and then I can't tell who this other Hulk is supposed to be. I'm sure it's one of them.
Lou Ferrigno from the face. I don't know.
Could possibly, because they're definitely going to CG Lou Ferrigno into his own Hulk.
Yeah, which is
he's not going to put the green paint back on.
No.
Yeah, so we get to see there's some sort of multiverse hopping here. I'm feeling like Secret Wars, they're going to bring Battle World together, and then for Doomsday, it's going to be a split, and we're going to be doing some multiverse hopping. So
yeah,
but it's very intriguing because it's also like if you look at their clothing, it looks like it almost takes place in the past as well.
Yeah,
like she's got a very Victorian, like almost peasant style outfit with a corset and all that. And then the guys have what looks like battle clothing.
Yeah, I'm looking at this I think this is the last image we have here, which is Black Panther. Yeah. Yeah,
and I can't tell who that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of talk about recasting Black Panther too. Which I understand the conversation, and I'm sure we had this conversation at the time, but I was always pro recasting Black Panther. So this could be the way of like doing a multiverse Black Panther and then bringing him over.
Yep. Yeah, because this almost looks like his kingdom's destroyed in this picture.
Yeah, maybe like him coming over to the regular universe would like give him a second chance or something.
Yeah.
Without doing what people feel would be like replacing Boseman.
Right, like still honoring the original. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. I think the it definitely sets the tone of like it does look pretty gritty. I would love to see a trailer at some point, but it'll be a while before that. But that's cool. I think the concept art is pretty cool. I think we'll still see about this Robert Downey Jr. Doom thing.
Yeah. I don't think you'll see a trailer till Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
Because this will be the end of the year 2026.
Yeah.
Is my prediction for it.
Yeah.
There's more images that came out too. Like some of them are a little bit harder to find. One person claims there's articles about it, but there's people that claim that you can see dupe in some of the images. So
what the hell?
I'm going to fucking pop hard if dupe comes in the MCU.
Come on.
But
that's wild.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there, and I'm all for it. Like I personally am. Give me all the shit ahead of time because I'm gonna forget it in 2 seconds anyway. So let me be excited.
This is what I was doing up until the Superman trailer on the DC subreddits. Was like finding all the screenshots I could, trying to piece shit together. This is pretty cool. It was discovered last week that on the app Cinema Box, I don't think I've used this one, you can currently stream the original theatrical cuts of the Star Wars trilogy, the first Star Wars trilogy. As of this recording, there's not word as to why or for how long, but this will be the case. And this is before the edits, right?
Yeah.
So I actually have like files that were given to me a long time ago before they were edited, but that's cool because not a lot of people have seen these, I feel like.
Yeah, you can see behind me the VHSs from
the VHSs.
When they released them. I watch the new like versions with like blinking Ewoks and shit.
Yeah, right.
But the original cuts are so much better. Like I know a lot of like people my father's age claim like, well, the CG makes it better and stuff like that. It's like there's like a subtlety to the original that was so good, and the things they did that just make it a better movie.
Mm-hmm.
And even Lucas has admitted that he went a little overboard.
Yeah.
I'm just confused on why Cinebox has it. Like, this has to be a mistake.
Maybe they're flying under the radar. I don't know. That's weird.
Because I've said from day one of Disney buying this, like, all you have to do is say if numbers are down for Disney Plus, it's just release the theatrical cuts. Like, that's all you have to do.
Right.
And everybody's like, even if I had left Disney at that point, I'd be like, well, fuck, I gotta watch the theatrical cuts
unless there's some like rights loophole right now or something.
I still stand by. I think that there's a clause in that contract that states that they can't release them until Lucas dies.
Maybe.
Or at all.
Yeah.
And it's up to Lucas's heirs to like hold on to that. I don't even know if he has kids or not, but
I guess yeah. Well, right now it's on Cinema Box, people, so go watch it.
Yeah, as we're recording it, I mean, by Wednesday, who knows? But I thought it was a cool story because it's like, why Cinema Box, and like, how did this happen?
That's bizarre.
I'll be following this closely this week to figure out if like anybody has answers. Comic
book news. Marvel announced a new limited series titled Death of the Silver Surfer, written by Greg Pak with art by Sumit Kumar. Silver Surfer's final voyage? The Silver Surfer returns to defend a war-ravaged Earth, but Norrin has a galaxy-sized target on his back, facing a threat capable of stealing away everything he is or ever will be. A single human life may be all that decides the Surfer's salvation or damnation. If the Surfer falls, who then wields the awesome power cosmic? That is the question. It sounds like that's what this book is. They want to kill Silver Surfer and make somebody like relevant to Silver Surfer. Is what it's
an alt future bullshit thing. Like it's Greg Pak had a fun Silver Surfer story, and Marvel's like, you've made us a lot of money, go ahead. Plus, Mike, I don't know if you know this, there's a Fantastic Four movie coming out.
Yeah, that's true. So there's gonna be
there is a Silver Surfer in that movie.
Yeah.
So
and they did get John Romita Jr. to do a variant, one of the variants. I don't know if it's listed there yet.
The main cover is pretty good.
Oh yeah,
it's very simplistic, but
John Romita Jr.'s cover is amazing. It's the far right one of like the planets. It's like an old school. It's called they call it a hidden gem variant.
Oh, the hidden gem variant.
Yeah. Dude, that is a sick cover.
Oh, they got Joe Quesada to do a cover.
Yeah, all these covers are pretty dope, except for that far left one. Is that Joe Quesada's? No, I don't know.
I sure hope not. No, that's Ron Lim.
Yeah, that one's just weird.
Nick Bradshaw, Joe Quesada is the one with Galactus. Yeah, so yes, sick. The best one.
The best. That's cool. Yeah, well, I mean, Greg Pak, good writer. Sumit Kumar, good artist. So this will be interesting to read.
For the Surfer fans out there, I'm sure they're always crazy about getting a Surfer book, but I don't. I only want alternate future storylines about characters I like, Mike.
Yeah. Not Silver Surfer.
Like Daredevil.
More Daredevil. Marvel announced that the 8th issue of their currently running Wolverine series will be its 400th issue of Wolverine. This milestone issue will be written by Saladin Ahmed and Daniel Warren Johnson, with art by Martin Coccolo and Daniel Warren Johnson. Celebrating 400 issues of Wolverine with the fight of his life, a massive issue you cannot afford to miss. Wolverine faces off with the Adamantine. The Wendigo is pulled into a deadly trap as a specter from Wolverine's past emerges, and the Wolverine story you never thought you'd see begins here. A big anniversary issue, always a great excuse to go crazy with reveals and unveilings. We've taken that to heart here, Ahmed said. It's an oversized issue. An old enemy drives Logan's new pupil, the Wendigo, to the brink. Logan finally comes face to face with the cryptic entity known as the Adamantine, and stunning new family revelation plants the seeds for the next chaotic chapter of Logan's life. So we're doing the Milestone thing.
To be expected.
There's a dude in the bottom right corner of that cover that looks like Batman. I don't know if you see that.
Bottom. Oh yeah, I think it's one of the Alpha Flight guys.
Yeah, it is, but
it's got a very Batman-esque look. I agree.
Very Batman cowl, which is fine. Yeah. But no, that's cool that they're celebrating this. I'm not reading the ongoing Wolverine right now, but
Oh no, good on Wolverine for getting that.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Daniel Warren Johnson stuff because I love his art, but he always does stuff that I don't want to read.
I know.
Like I don't want to read your pro wrestling and space book. Like,
yeah, I know.
I'm sure it's good and I'm sure people love it, but it's just not what I want to read.
It's just not my cup of tea, bro.
And then he's doing Wolverine issue 400, and I'm like, I don't really care about Wolverine, but it is like a samurai Wolverine story.
Yeah.
But his cover.
Yeah, I know.
It's so fucking good, dude.
It's really sick.
But
alas, I'm already reading the Greg Capullo Wolverine books.
Yeah.
Which I prefer.
People love them some Wolverine, man.
Yeah, they do.
Good on them for getting it to 400 issues. That's a milestone.
That's a lot of issues, damn.
Yeah.
DC Comics announced some changes to their DC Universe Infinite app. First, they've changed the pricing structure. So it costs $12.99 monthly or $120 annually to join. With this, they're also adding a new way to read digital comics called DC Go, which much like Marvel Infinity, will feature comics and a webtoon reading style. The first books to be added to DC Go are the first 3 issues of Batman, Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So all the Absolute books. Yeah, that's I don't know if anybody's getting this, but
it's worked for Marvel.
Yeah.
The Infinity books are actually pretty popular. That's where Jeff the Landshark comes from.
That's true. Yep.
So I get it, but I will say one thing, DC. What worked for Marvel is that they created, giant air quotes, everybody, comics for the service that could only be read on the service.
Right.
Until they needed to print them to make more money.
Yeah, until they wanted to print them in physical form. Yeah.
But they created this air of like, this is what that's for. And some of them haven't been reprinted, I'll give them that, but a lot, like Jeff the Landshark was reprinted.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking your old books and putting them in the format, I don't think it's going to have the same appeal. So we'll see what happens down the line, but at least now you don't have to spend like $120. I think it was actually $150 for a while there.
Oh, wow.
To get in for a year, when it's like, bro, I don't know if I'm going to be checking this thing out like at all.
Yeah, right. That's pretty steep.
Yeah, so
but it comes with a
7-day free trial too.
Oh, that's cool. That's 7 days to try it out. But yeah, like you said, we need some exclusive stuff on there too.
Yeah, but I was reading through it. All new comics. So if you're somebody that doesn't care about being their day one, which if I didn't do the show, this is what I'd be doing. Mm-hmm. Their new comics are on the app 30 days after print release. So you have to wait a month, and then you can read the latest issue of every DC book.
Cool.
So
that's the way to do it.
It's a good frugal way to get into comics. If you don't mind digital, you don't mind a subscription. So
yep. All right, and the last thing here is a Image Comics announced by writer Charles Soule and artist Will Sliney's Shrouded College universe is getting a new edition of the limited series, The Cold Witch. Cold Witch promises fans an icy horror tale of revenge and dark sorcery set in frozen Siberia, and is perhaps best described as John Wick but with zombies. All right, it follows the tale of a woman wronged who goes to truly desperate lengths to avenge her murdered love. That sounds cool. I mean, I like Charles Soule as a writer. I think the cover looks pretty dope. There's a lot of different, I guess those are zombies across different eras. I'd be pretty inclined to try this out.
Yeah, the Shrouded College stuff is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Like, it's all different forms of horror. Mm-hmm. There was one that I really liked that I fell off of. I need to finish, but it was the idea was that they imprisoned. It was a prison escape comic where they had to go into space to get the vampires who were imprisoned around the sun. Yeah,
mm-hmm. I remember you telling me about that one. That one sounds dope.
Yeah, and then there was the one Hell to Pay where there was like coins that came from hell and all this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're cool books, and they've got something interesting here that can tell different kinds of stories that have like little threads that connect them. It's not like you have to read one to know what's going on in the other, and so on. I'm sure they will cross them over in a big way down the line, but
I'm sure there's an event coming at some point.
Yeah, but I'll probably check this out.
With that, let's talk about what we read this week.
Comics.
I'm still catching up on stuff. I will be caught up by next
Same.
week. Okay.
I am.
Yeah.
So I have been really adjusting to this new schedule, and I
Yeah.
think I finally have it down. But it's
Okay.
been fucking balls to the wall for like 3 weeks now, trying to figure out what's going on with my new job.
Yeah, when I have to travel, when I travel on a Tuesday, Wednesday, it's like, well, I don't have time to get my comics on my tablets. But yeah, I'm still catching up with stuff from last week. So I read Aquaman 2, kind of like you said. I really liked it. The blood bending was cool. And I like the whole explanation of the blue, like, as, like, the green, you know? Like, with Swamp Thing. Mm-hmm. And then, I guess, like, Aquaman's fulfilling some prophecy to be this, like, new god, so that's kind of interesting. But I would like to know, like, what's up with the Omega symbol, right? Is it because he's going to be a new god, like new god tied to new gods, or like new god for whatever realm he's in, you know? So, Geiger number 11, I thought it was a great issue. Geiger being stubborn, the other glowing person knows how to cure him, and he's finally going to listen to her, I think. And then I got to Jumpscare number 1 in the newer book, and there's some other stuff I got to read, but I didn't read the other series. This is from the Beyond Mortal universe. I didn't read it, but I will read it from Cullen Bunn.
Oh yeah.
So Jumpscare is like a character in that universe, but this is a really fun issue. She's a hero that can conjure any weapon from a horror movie that she's seen. So she we get her. There's like Evil Dead references and stuff, but so like her family's very religious, and they've had like a falling out, and her sister gets captured, so she has to go find her. But basically, she's a hero that goes around in the streets, like, killing monsters with these, like, conjured-up weapons. It was a really fun issue, and I didn't really know much. I mean, they kind of talk about what happened with Beyond Mortal, and now there's monsters everywhere, so I'm like, okay, I'm caught up. But I really like the character. I think Jumpscare is really cool. I thought Cullen's having a lot of fun with that book.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got this in the mail, new volume of Kaiju number 8. This is volume 12. So...
Wow, I'm way behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna read. I get this like delivered to me now when it comes out, so can't wait to read that tonight. But that's all I got to this week.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of one manga, and then I got Rooster Fighter. I think it's volume 7.
Oh yeah,
just came out.
Yeah, you love that book.
Yeah, I got.
That's awesome.
A ton to read. So a couple of old books first were Lucky Devils number 2.
Oh, nice.
And we just get more of a look into the structure of hell and like how these two plan on bringing it down. Mm-hmm. By raising through the ranks. There's like a whole corporate meeting at the beginning. Not really meeting, like getaway. They're on some sort of cruise with all the top demons in hell.
Yep.
And like they have a motivational speech, and they learn about the new corporate initiatives for hell and all that. It's wacky and fun, and and then we get like how these two are messing with their new people and going through with the promises made in issue 1. So I think it's a really good book, and I'm enjoying it. It's got like a ton of wackiness to it that just makes it a good time.
Yeah, I love that book too.
Batman and Robin year 1 number 5. You can tell by the cover, Mike, this is my favorite issue so far.
Oh hell yeah. I know why.
Dick Robin gets kicked out of school on his first day because he doesn't see the point. And Batman basically grounds him from being Robin because he has to go to school. And then when like Dick gets his shit together and they go back out together, there's this whole thing where he's laying boundaries now, like you can't stay out past this time because you gotta be at school tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But then Batman at some point has to go investigate something and ends up fighting Clayface, and I popped pretty hard for Chris Samney's Clayface. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Superman number 23.
Nice.
This is the conversation with Lois and the time sweeper, and he basically gave her the same ultimatum that he gave Superman 3 issues ago. Mm-hmm. But he's a little more of a dick about it, and Jimmy gets very hurt because of it. And Lex, who doesn't remember anything still, figures out that he can use Brainiac's technology to trap the whole armada in the sky, as well as Doomsday and everybody else. in a glass case, like he did Kandor.
Oh, like Kandor, cool.
Yeah, so he has this whole idea, and Superman's not sure about it because he's still not sure about Lex. But it was a solution to the problem, and I'm sure will not bite anybody in the ass down the line. Yeah, it's
not going to come back at all.
Radiant Black, number 31.
Nice.
Oh, this is a good issue bringing it back. It's really a simple, hey, shit happened. Mm-hmm. We're rebuilding Chicago. We get to see Radiant Black helping to rebuild. He has this new like alert system that allows people to basically call in things for him to go do. And you see everything from like this guy stole my purse to my cat stuck in the tree. Can you get him? Mm-hmm. So they have a little fun with it. And then along the way, we get to see this new big bad in the background. And we find out that if you remember the story arc, Mike, where they were in an alternate timeline and Radiant Black went bad. I can't remember if that happened during Catalyst War or if that was prior. I think it was prior.
I think it was before that, yeah.
And some of those refugees from that timeline have come over to ours. Mm-hmm. Well, they're starting to remember what's happening.
Okay.
And there's a whole like online conspiracy theory thing behind it, which I found to be a ton of fun.
That's fun.
Where people are like waking up to the truth and all this stuff. And the bad guy's one of those. So people are starting to see Radiant Black in a negative light because they're remembering the alternate timeline one that was kind of evil.
Cool.
So I like that whole thing. It was a very safe but good opening issue to come back with the book. And then my last issue is Captain America and Volstagg, number 1. Are these one-shots?
Nice.
More of a Volstagg book than a Captain America book. But basically, Volstagg calls upon him because he's been helping this planet like across the galaxy with this war, and he wants Cap to help him because Volstagg like puts on he admits to Cap that like I put on a show for everybody. Like I'm not as goofy and dumb as like I put on, right. And I don't want people to see me in my real way, and but I don't mind you seeing it. And then on top of that, he's like, I also need a strategist to help me out to finish this war. And it's basically like, it's a very introspectual look at Volstagg and how he became like the lovable oaf of the group, and how some of the like the things he does, like when he trips and falls and like gets stuck in a door, he talks about like, oh yeah, I did that because I knew beyond that door it was this thing. And if they went through, they would die from it. So if I was like, whoops, whoa, I guess I gotta go around. I actually saved their lives.
That's fun.
So it was a cool little look at that. But yeah, more Volstagg than Cap in the book.
Nice.
But Cap does get like a souped up Harley at the end of this that Sif makes sick for him.
That's awesome.
And I almost posted the last page because it's literally him on the Rainbow Road on his Harley.
Yeah.
It was just such a great
Danger Zone.
Exactly. It was such a great page.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's everything I read, Mike. So
nice.
Where can people find you on the internet?
You find me at Fortress Ricker on X/Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
Well, you can find me on X at Fortress Chris, as well as any other social media network you can think of, and at chriscomicscorner.substack.com. And if you want to find the show, it's on social media at Fortress Pod, also at fortresscomicnews.com. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure if you want to support the show, to get the 5-star reviews on the podcatcher, to like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version, and to go over to patreon.com/fortresscomics. We'll see y'all here next week.